Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. Let's talk about the Fear and Greed Index for today. We've jumped straight back up to a score of 21, back up from a score of 10, almost hitting the single digits. What is the reason for this increased greed? I have some hunches I'll show you towards the end of the video, but it kind of rhymes with Elon Musk, and we'll talk about that. Well, I guess Jack Dorsey too. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And this is not in any way a dig on anybody else who was involved in this event, but let's be real. Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey, as opinion leaders and thought leaders, they're kind of taking the world by storm right now in terms of Bitcoin. But we see that irrational, what I think is irrational greed coming back into the market. Personally, I don't know if this is the parabolic run-up where we see that last leg of the Bitcoin market for this bull run. But again, is any of this legal, financial, or business advice? No. No, it is not. Boys and girls, you have to do your own research. You're responsible for your own choices. Don't put that evil on me. Don't put that evil on me. So jumping back into the chart right here, we see that it's kind of gone this direction after ranging sideways for so long. We're still not out of the woods, guys. We're still in the extreme fear range, okay? So being below 25, we're still in extreme fear. It's just the sentiment has shifted dramatically to see a 100% change, going from a score of 10 up to a score of 21. But yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. I think, again, well, you know, I mentioned it. Let's just go ahead and let's roll the clip, shall we? So let me show you what Elon said at this event.
The only publicly traded stock I own is Tesla, and the only significant thing I own outside of Tesla is my SpaceX stock that you know, could help create both companies. So, but apart from that, I do own Bitcoin. And Tesla owns Bitcoin, SpaceX owns Bitcoin, and then I do personally own a bit of Ethereum and Dogecoin, of course.
All right, Ethereum and Dogecoin, what's that all about? He finally admitted publicly to owning some Ethereum when pressed on Twitter, and it's been many, many months now, as to whether or not he had looked into Ethereum. Elon Musk had said in the past, I don't own any Ethereum. Well, he's gone on record now at a Bitcoin conference, no less, that is dedicated to conversations and discussions about the infrastructure specifically for Bitcoin, that he owns Ethereum. That's an implicit endorsement. I'm not going to say explicit. He's not trying to tell everybody else they need to go and buy Ethereum, but it's very clear that he's interested in the concepts of throughput, like permissionless financial velocity, right? On is some kind of a transactional layer or like fast settlement layer like Ethereum right now. So without me defending the guy, it's very clear that he's gone and outed himself. He's not just a Bitcoiner, and that's where his antics come from. He also mentioned having personal holdings in Doge, even though the companies that he has stock in do not hold either of his two assets. Now, this is also the first time publicly that Elon Musk has admitted to owning any SpaceX stock as well. What does this mean for this guy down the line? Is there going to be a difficult conversation with the SEC, just like there was a difficult conversation with the Air Force previously when he went on Joe Rogan? Man, I don't know. I don't pretend to know this stuff. However, Elon could be in for a world of hurt, having just revealed this stuff publicly. Maybe it's already public somewhere else, but people haven't been talking about it. But clearly there's going to be some pushback, and certainly from Bitcoin maximalists and extremists, we'll call them, people who believe that Elon should only be interested in supporting Bitcoin. Jack Dorsey was there, of course, as well. Jack Dorsey is a staunch pro-Bitcoiner. He just recently announced that he'll be creating a non-custodial Bitcoin hardware wallet and working on non-custodial services, or services that educate and assist retail, people like you and me, in acquiring and holding Bitcoin in a non-custodial way, meaning not giving our keys to custodians like banks or institutions like that. So he's kind of a diehard Bitcoiner. However, his company, Twitter, is rolling out NFTs on Ethereum. So is Jack Dorsey Twitter? Yes and no. Not exactly. It's very clear that he wants to go the route of Bitcoin purism and sort of maximalism. And it's very clear now that Elon Musk is not a dyed-in-the-wool Bitcoin maximalist. Clearly, he sees some utility and some value in other coins as well. So I think that's part of the reason for the jump right here. This is the fresh, most recently refreshed Fear and Greed Index reading right now. I waited until the turn of the hour to be able to record this media so you'd be able to see exactly what the latest update was there, because we were so down in that valley of fear in terms of broad sentiment across Twitter and then also on Reddit. Let me finish up by showing something that's kind of, this is the sentiment coming from some of the Bitcoiners in the space. They saw the clip of Elon, and this is what they how they responded.
Things I own outside of SpaceX and Tesla, and also obviously Neuralink, a foreign company, but of any significance are Bitcoin by far, and then some Ethereum and some Doge. So you know, if the price of Bitcoin goes down, I lose money. I'm not sort of, I might pump, but I don't dump. It's not a case of, I definitely do not believe in getting the price high and selling or anything like that. And I would like to see Bitcoin succeed. I think there's some merit to, this is not a slam on Bitcoin, there's some merit to considering something that has a higher max transaction rate and lower transaction cost, and kind of seeing how far you could take a single layer network where the exchanges act as a de facto second layer. I think you could probably take that further than people realize, and as bandwidth increases over time, latency decreases. SpaceX's Starlink is actually playing a role in this, and I think long-term people will probably have, access to worldwide access to gigabit connectivity.
And so it goes, guys. Here's the meme. It lives on, right? Gotta love that Blade Runner refresh meme. The sequel there, it's just hilarious. It's just hilarious. It's going to create feelings in some people when some of their favorite entrepreneurs make a decision and draw a line in the sand saying, I'll fight here and maybe I'll die on that hill, so to speak, to use that turn of phrase. However, am I saying that you should take this stuff seriously enough that you should honestly, openly, publicly admit to being willing to fight and or die on behalf of these coin networks? No, I'm not. I am going to say that the principles they stand for are worthy principles, but one coin or another coin, even including Bitcoin, which I hold in the highest regard, highest esteem, right? It's on my merchandise, it's on my logo. I wouldn't sell my family for it. I wouldn't sell my mother for it. I wouldn't sell you for it if I know you personally, if we were buddies, right? I wouldn't do that to you. That's not worth it for me, right? So I got to temper our maximalism, got to temper our, our sentiment there. Not get swayed by somebody else's change of opinion. So I wanted to share that before we jumped into the profitability of GPUs and mining right now. Let's start at the very bottom of the list on Team Red with the R9 380. And we're going to go now to a 14 cents per kilowatt hour model here. We're also going to go back to 3 days. Oh my gosh, guys, so much to talk about here. I'm back, right? Like a craven wage slave, coming back from my bowl of soup, right? Like Oliver, like, please, sir, may I have a daily payout? There's a bit of an issue, right? I mentioned that I'm not super comfortable with the Matic bridging scheme, and I'm still not super comfortable with the Matic bridging scheme. However, it works. The payouts are less expensive, and the gas fees for payouts on Ethermine and other large mining pools. This is covered very well by Son of a Tech. If you haven't seen his video on it, you should watch it. Don't have a link to that, but you know how to find him. But the gas fees from those pool payouts are going to be applied to miners moving forward, even if they're changing the amount of MEV that they've organized for the blocks that are mined at Ethermine to go from 80% of the MEV all the way up to 100%. We don't know what that's going to look like in the near future, especially with new EVM compatible networks coming out to alleviate the transaction volume on the main L1 chain, right? Matic is already alleviating some of that congestion on layer 1. The prices to send Ethereum transactions, certainly just Ether itself, right? Native, the ETH token itself, right? That's used for paying gas. Sending that is the cheapest I've seen it in months. I was able to send a transaction on Ethereum the other day, just ETH, from one wallet address to another one for pennies. And it's finally back to the Ethereum that we all know and love. I think largely because of these other ZK rollups or these other second layer and side chain solutions like Matic and like some of the other like Optimism and other networks that are coming out now, we're seeing that there are options, and that's going to, I think, probably decrease the amount that's paid in the miner extracted value and in the increased gas fees. But you guys tell me, sound off in the comments section, what do you think is going to happen with those fees? For me, I'm going back to Matic. Even though I found the bridging experience kind of painful, it was still better for me based on the size farm that I have to defer paying a really large payout fee to transfer any amount of Ethereum until I had a much larger amount of Ethereum, so that the transfer fee, that the gas fee, would represent a much smaller percentage of what I needed to transfer, right? Based on a daily payout or even a weekly payout, I can wait. You know, I can have my coins, right, paid out from the pool and not worry about them, still hold my own keys, still be sovereign over my own keys on Matic. However, I'm still a little bit concerned. I want to do a deeper dive on Matic. I've heard that the multi-sig is perhaps a little bit too centralized, that the reports of the decentralization of Matic, that they're overblown, and that it's not quite as decentralized or censorship resistant that I was led to believe. I still have my concerns, guys, right? I'm a bit of a natural skeptic, and I want to look into that deeper. So let me know in the comments section, what are your thoughts and feelings on Matic on the Polygon network? I'm back because I need to be, of a necessity. To me, it's almost like the compromise of using stablecoins right now. We use them because they're useful, not because they're the best thing ever or because they're our first choice. So that's kind of where I'm at with Matic as well. Love to get your feedback. I've had some people push back a little bit in the comments section, but you tell me today, what do you think? Are you going to go back to more frequent payouts on Matic? Because I feel like I kind of have to with the news that have come out of Ethermine. But here we are with the R9 380 Ethereum Classic, still at the top of the list at about $0.25 a day for every single one of those cards that you have in your rig. The Fury HBM card by AMD, aging architecture but with high bandwidth memory, doing Ravencoin at about 68 cents per day, down a little bit from 88 cents last time that we spoke. Let's go to the 4 gig Polaris edition on the 570. Calculate for that. We're also going to get Ravencoin, very top of the list, but a little bit higher, 75 cents per day. Not really sure what the difference is there or why we're seeing that fluctuation at this moment, but there you have it. 580, so 8 gig Polaris card. Scrolling down, looking at about $1.42 per day. Now, consider also that maybe what we're seeing here is a little bit of difference in the price for power, the price basis for power that I've got marked here, but that shouldn't account for the full decrease in profitability because we were going with 14 cents for power last time as well. So Ethereum top of the stack, $1.42 every single day on those 8 gig Polaris cards. Bottom of the line HBM2 card, Vega 56, is going to do about $2.41 per day on that average 14 cents per kilowatt hour power, going all the way up to the Radeon 7, and it's got $4.99. Do I hear $4.99? Do I hear $5? No, not today, but almost $5 you're getting with that Radeon 7 every single day you have it running. Going to the bottom of the line of the 5,000 and 6,000 series cards, calculate the profitability, and in favor of the 6,000 series card, you got about $4.55 to split. And then top of the line for both of those, 6800 XT, 5700 XT. Also, with the lion's share going to the 6000 series cards, you got $6.30 to split. Going over to Team Green, starting with our top of the line, a 3090, and then the 2080 Ti, 1660S, and the 1080 Ti. Calculating at 14 cents per kilowatt hour, we get $11.91 split between all 4 cards, about half of that going to the 3090 as you're used to seeing. And then the value and efficiency play will go with the 1060, the 1660, the 2060, and the 3060. Calculate our results there. And again, Ethereum's at the top of the stack at $5.52 per day, with Ravencoin coming in a close second and Zano on the list, but Haven's still not listed here. Hey, Seth, what happened to that? Not advice, not suggestion to look into Haven. Well, Haven is back on the menu. That's right. As of today, the core devs have rolled the chain back, and it's only a matter of time before all payouts, all block subsidies are functioning exactly as expected. However, clearly they have not listed that back on whattomine.com just yet. We'll see it in our portfolio, and we'll strategize together just a little bit there. Sound fair? Okay. So we've seen what all the profitability is here. Let's look at our cost to mine 1 Bitcoin, starting with the S9 at 12 cent power. Oh, nope, my mistake. Okay, so we've got to refactor this to just the base firmware on the S9, and looks like minimum cost for power, we need to have at least below 13.9 cents per kilowatt hour. If we go to 14 cents per kilowatt hour, the way we did with the GPUs, obviously we're not profitable. And the cost to mine 1 full Bitcoin will be $32,000. We're dangerously close to, well, when we look at the charts later on, dangerously close to a number that I think puts the S9 in do not touch category. And guys, this kills me, because if you look at my eBay store, I've got some S9 like for parts pieces there, including like the controller boards. No more hash boards, but I've got some S9 controller boards there that are fully functioning, reflashed to either Brains OS or to Hive OS, so they do a little better, a little more performant than what you see here, somewhere between 15 and 17 terahash per second. But still, you see this, it pains me to say it because I'm trying to move a little bit of hardware there, but I'm being transparent about this. So I hate seeing that stuff in my store is not doing really well, but there you have it. But $32,000, remember that number, $32,000 Bitcoin. It'll come up later on in this video. Don't forget, remind me in the comment section if I forget. Can I count on you? Thanks. You're the best. All right. That's the S9. You know, you have to have much cheaper power. You're going to need to co-locate someplace at like 8 cent power. There may be somebody who we can partner with to be able to get some kind of advertisement for co-location, or maybe somebody in the community who's willing to do that. But let's go to the WhatsMiner M20S. And the WhatsMiner M20S at 14 cent power. Whoop, take your timer. I'm going to say this is why I have to edit so many of my videos. All right, so looks like at 14 cent power, we're mining 1 full Bitcoin at about 18,000 and a half, or 18,500 US dollars. Not terrible. It's not the worst. It's not the best value proposition either, but for my comfort level, I can live with that. Right, I can live with acquiring Bitcoin at 18,000 off book, part of the Coinbase transaction, and just mine. Right, it doesn't go through Coinbase, and it doesn't go through like the company, capital C Coinbase. It doesn't go through Kraken or or Bitfinex or anybody else. Right, anybody else who we like don't, or Gemini, anybody else who we don't want to go like give money to. We can run our business here, mine the thing, and receive it directly. And at $18,000, I think that's a great deal right now. I really do. I think it's a great deal to buy Bitcoin at $18,000 with a little bit of CapEx on top. So yeah, I'm not complaining about that at all. And you can have power go all the way up to 24 cents and still be okay. Let's look at the portfolio, guys. GPU portfolio first, just because this is primarily a channel that was built on GPU mining. Yeah, we did a little detour talking about Chia. I know it was a mistake, guys. Thanks for being with me. Some of you are new and want to hear more about Chia content because you're like, hey, you were the first person who kind of like blew the whistle on Chia. Let me know in the comment section, are there projects that you think I should take a closer look at to be able to expose some issues that you think haven't been talked about? I'm very open to that, guys. I'm okay with doing things that aren't popular. I really am. I'm 100% okay with it. And my channel hasn't been taken down yet. Knock on wood, but I'm okay with saying things and doing things that aren't popular and that make me seem like I'm not one of the cool kids who's like, paying his dues the way that they do. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I want to do the right thing for you guys the way that only I can. So let me know what kind of projects I can look at to kind of expose some of the potential risks and, and apply my crystal ball too, and see if there's something that I can see that others aren't seeing. Anyway, rant over. We're over here on the GPU portfolio. Total P&L is negative 38%. We're still down pretty bad, guys. Not going to lie, down pretty bad. But our wrapped representations of Bitcoin are still carrying the portfolio, with Ethereum in a relatively close third. Matic Aave interest bearing wrapped ETH. Oh my gosh, why do I even bother saying that anymore? Anyways, this one, number 4, it's maintained that number 4 spot also, but it's dropped down below $800. And then bottom of the stack is still Haven, right? It's still down over 70% in the red. However, the price action is good, right? The 24-hour price is going up a lot with everything else, right? It's got that little lift of the rest of the market, but it's a little more so, right? It's more than just the correlated lift of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin went up 8.5%. And then some of the other Bitcoin representations didn't do quite as well. Ethereum went up 12.5%, which is really nice, but the entire market didn't go up that much. Haven did. It went up by almost 14%, which I think is a reflection of the news, right? Of that patch being worked on, the chain being rolled back, and the team getting their sleeves rolled up and getting back to work. They didn't give up. It's not a project worth giving up on, right? It's a project worth salvaging. Obviously, they've got a very strong mission statement, a very clear vision, and they're working hard to try to execute that vision. Are they doing it perfectly? No. Are there massive risks involved for you? Yes, absolutely. But I think that this validates what I mentioned in the last video. And if you turned your rigs over to it and you had really solid hash power, you probably did pretty well. You're welcome. I don't know what that's going to mean in terms of network difficulty for Haven in the coming days. Guys, I didn't offer details. I just offered a signal. I just offered a little bit of a lead. And I'm going to leave it at that. You've got to do the rest of your own research. I don't give recommendations. I don't give suggestions. I don't even really give technical analysis. I just kind of look at this data and, talk about it. So the rest is up to you. You got to do a little more due diligence. You figure, if I really knew exactly what was going to happen, would I really come on here and divulge it all the time? No, but I can give some leads and I can talk about stuff and kind of spitball, right? Just stuff that I'm seeing and try to give you unfiltered feedback based on what I'm seeing. Anybody who plays like Opie and, yeah, I'm just here trying to tell you what I'm doing. They're selling you ads too, especially if their channel is big, right? Like they get significant ad revenue split. So like everything is I don't love this game, guys. I don't love this game, but I'm pretty good at it, right? And that's what bugs me about it. So I'm trying to do the right thing. Let me know how I can do better. Really give me some honest feedback, guys, of what you need. And let me try to give you more of what you need. We're all doing the best we can, but I'm trying to do better. Is what I'm saying. And I think this will play out well, right? Because it was so far down in the dumps, its return, right? Its bullish flip is looking stronger getting back up, but it's kind of going to be choppier finding support as it levels out and then starts to grow again. So in for a bumpy ride, I think, but the Haven developers haven't given up. Swap and BitTube, guys, where are you on those projects? Because I'm still strongly considering just taking them off the list. Maybe we should look at volume profiles, see if there's enough volume. Maybe it's not a question of total market cap. Maybe just the daily trading volume needs to be a little higher. But you tell me, and I don't have that right here in this layout of this portfolio, so maybe I do need to get a little more involved with the numbers, right? But you let me know. What you'd like to see me do there. Conceal also just a little bit higher, but it's and then Rio currency, right? And mostly Rio currency. Those three I think are maybe on the chopping block: Swap, BitTube, and Rio currency. Firo is like middle of the pack, just all day, not shifting too much, but down bad. And then Polygon, right? Matic is also down pretty bad with a much stronger comeback right alongside Flux, right? Over 30% up in 24 hours. That does not correlate super strongly to Bitcoin. A little bit, right? The downtrend, that downward channel, does correspond and correlate to Bitcoin, but that's a little bit too strong a recovery. Doesn't seem to be in connection with Bitcoin. Now, this symbol right here, this formation right here, just for kicks, that is the inverse Bart Simpson. You seeing it? Yeah, I knew you'd see it, guys. I knew you'd see it. Anyway, just wanted to call that out for what it's worth. Moving to our hard drive portfolio. We got at the top of the list, still MaidSafe coin. It's still way above what we put in when we created this paper portfolio of $1,000 in each coin. And it's still carrying this portfolio with a total P&L of negative 27.72. Very bottom is still Chia, and Chia's down even worse. It was at $200 or so last time we saw it, but in the last 7 days, it has taken the most severe downtrend of all of the other coins, right? So not totally certain what's going on there. I have been getting some community members who are forking Chia reaching out to me now. I've had people who are service providers offering plotting services and stuff reaching out to me. Do you guys want me to take a look at any of the alternatives, the forks of Chia? I'm not convinced that they're going to stand a much better chance than Chia does. I think Chia gets it right, or it doesn't happen at all. I don't think the forks and the clones of Chia are going to really manage it all that much better, because again, the Chia core devs have got tens of millions of dollars. They can spend the next 5 years, or if they're really, really frugal people, they can spend the next 10 years totally just keeping their heads down and working and never running out of money. So they can probably outdevelop all these other teams. This isn't me saying that I love corporate, corporo state controlled blockchain projects. It's just me being very real about the fact that it takes money to pay bills and it takes money to put food on the table, right? And if you've got a team of 10 or 15 people or whatever, then that's how many mouths you've got to feed, right? So they've got the means to be able to continue developing for a long time. And I don't think that's the case for a lot of these other forks. You let me know though, guys, if you want me to interview or rather discuss some of these projects, I'll take a closer look. Briefly, we'll do a segment just on those. Middle of the pack is storage and Filecoin as before. And yeah, that's our hard drive portfolio. Still kind of the, I think it's the sort of the darling side of the portfolio, not taking as bad a hit as other sides. CPU mineable coins are down 33.69% since we created the portfolio, with the dead last being handed over to Monero. Still, again, market cap of over $7 million, so it's very strong as the de facto testnet for Monero, but it's down almost 70% since we created the portfolio. Monero in second place, doing its thing, still a multi-billion-dollar market cap coin with ultra high volume on the daily because it's actually used. There's a reason that I wanted to create this portfolio and show Monero in it. I think it's a very valuable coin. Really, I do. I think it's a very useful altcoin. And people who argue against it, I just don't understand where the consternation, where the concern comes from. You're going to have atomic swaps between Bitcoin and Monero in production. They're already available right now, but in very easy to use atomic swap user interfaces like on Samurai Wallet or say on Monero Wallet or on Cake Wallet, you're going to be seeing these things come to market very, very soon, where you'll be able to seamlessly and permissionlessly swap between Monero and Bitcoin and vice versa. So instead of paying extremely high prices for mixing on Bitcoin, you'll have all of the privacy by default of the Monero network in a way that you can drop your funds into Monero and then drop those funds back in whatever denomination you want, right? So if you put 10 full Bitcoin into Monero, if you wanted to drop them back out half a Bitcoin at a time, or, you know, in random denominations like 0.3, you don't have to wait for somebody else to do a mixing event with that only allows you to put in one full Bitcoin at a time, or exactly 1/10 of a Bitcoin. Use whatever denomination you want, and your counterparty, if they're willing to assist you in that cross-chain swap, you'll get all the privacy benefits of Monero, and then you'll get to have Bitcoin too. And if you get really familiar with the Bitcoin Monero trading pair, you can use that as your own de facto off-book OTC trading. How cool is that? Anyway, I think it's awesome. Personally, I think it's the killer app right now in UTXO-based systems. That Bitcoin and Monero atomic swap, it's pretty hot. Anyway, that's why it's on the list. Raptorium has come way back up, right? It's done phenomenally well the last 7 days, completely decorrelated from Bitcoin and just moving up. And it's actually staying closest to the $1,000 mark of anything in the CPU mining portfolio. So good on you, Raptorium. ASIC mineable coins actually pretty close to the CPU mineable coins in terms of P&L, down 34% or so, with Bitcoin reflecting pretty closely what the wrapped Bitcoin representations are. Of course, that same chart with the Bart Simpson, inverse Bart Simpson formation. And then Decred in a close second, and Horizon way down at the bottom, but actually not as down in the dumps as our other portfolio last place entrants are. Horizon is only at about 50% down. Pirate Chain is looking an awful lot more like it's following the channel and the correlation more similarly than it did last time that I saw it. And I didn't mean to rustle any jimmies, right, guys? When I mentioned that I thought that the trading patterns, the formations that I saw in the Pirate Chain chart, they looked off to me. And I'm going to stand by that. I really don't care, right, whose feathers I ruffle. If that bothers you, reach out to me. If you got a personal problem, reach out to me. We'll talk about it, right? We'll talk through it. But if you got insight that helps educate me, I want to educate too, right? I want to set the record straight. I want to make sure that I don't misrepresent a project or the people behind it or the people who are making up the community, right? Don't let me speak out of ignorance. But right now I have to admit, I don't know all the things that are going into the chart, all of the news that apply to Pirate Chain. It's here in the midst of dozens of other coins, right? This is in this show. We cover dozens of coins. So Pirate Chain is just another customer. It's just another coin right now, albeit a great use case, albeit a really great tech, a great, ZK snarks and permissionless privacy, right? And proof of work backed chain. It's a cool project. It is. It's a cool project, but it's also just another project, right? It doesn't offer, like what I was mentioning before, seamless permissionless atomic swaps directly between chains, between Bitcoin and Pirate Chain that I'm aware of. And if I'm wrong, guys, come educate me, right? Hit up the DMs. You know who you are. I know who you are. If I've gotten it wrong, please reach out and please help set the record straight. But Pirate Chain is back in something that looks normal to me, right? Somewhat normal. Dash, again, not so much. I don't know what's going on there, but I do know there are a lot of really big old school Dash whales who have not sold. They don't give up and they don't give in. They just keep on running their master nodes and getting passive rewards in Dash, and they're doing phenomenally well. I mean, the coin price and the volume is still up there, right? Dash, market cap of about $1.5 billion, with the coin price being $141. If you have enough collateral to be able to build a masternode for Dash, then you've already got a significant amount of wealth stored in that blockchain. So to have that for a rainy day, but also be getting passive rewards, totally worth it. I totally get why somebody would do that if they were still convinced of that lifestyle. But that, by that same token, I know that means there are people out there who have many tens of thousands of Dash coins, or maybe millions of Dash coins, who are willing to wash trade and willing to commit other kinds of price manipulations in order to prevent it from taking as hard a beating as the rest of the market is. So throwing it out there, not levying specific accusations, but I'm just going to say there are a lot of very interested stakeholders in the Dash ecosystem, and they have old bags, right? They're the old money of cryptocurrency. So it wouldn't shock me to hear that some of them are manipulating price, at least a little bit. All right, jumping out of the way here. Those are our portfolios, guys. I've got an additional portfolio here that I don't want to show you yet, but it's called Moonshots, and I may introduce this at some point in the future. Then again, I may not. I'm just going to tell you straight up. Do I think thoughts that I occasionally don't reveal here on YouTube? Yeah, occasionally. It's rare. I mean, I normally just say literally everything's on my mind exactly in the moment, but I do occasionally hold thoughts to myself. So I'm not sure if I want to show you that Moonshots portfolio yet, and I'm not sure if you're going to like what I show you. If I did, right? We're going to have differences of opinion, and you're going to say that I'm wasting some of my time, wasting your time maybe even. But if you did want me to do a separate segment on that, then maybe I can do a members only segment just on that. I wasn't eager to go that direction, but that would be the only reason that I'd want to do a members only media on this channel, is just to make sure that people who are in the room when I release those videos are serious about learning what I think there and have paid for the privilege of giving me feedback there. Just to be very straightforward, very blunt about it. I don't want to be accused of giving advice, and I don't want that to come across like the wrong way. But anyway, guys, give me feedback. I'm on the right direction there. I do think that there's an appropriate time and place to just say, like, I just don't want abuse to take place here. And that's kind of where I'm drawing the line personally, is in this little portfolio where I'm looking at stuff that to me is kind of a little more precious. And I don't want it to come across as like some paid group, like where I'm trying to give people buying signals or whatever. And so by the same token, I don't want to talk about it publicly because I don't want to be accused of shilling anymore. I do paid reviews already. I use sponsored reviews already. I don't want to deal with that headache all the time when it's not sponsored, and volunteering my time to talk about some of these projects the way I do. So anyway, without complaining or playing the victim here, that's what I'm thinking. Give me your feedback. All right, jumping from this portfolio, let's take a look at the chart. Boom, here it is. And we've added the 50 and 200-day moving average to our chart here. Let me jump fully out of the way so you can see the entire chart. We're on TradingView, and I've got this chart. I should be able to put that in the live stream comment section right now, as well as pin that to the top post. I've got this thing public because I think it's very interesting. First off, this lower channel here was something that I aped from CTO Larson. So thank you again if you're watching or if you catch wind of that. Just want to give credit where it's due. I always want to give credit where it's due instead of stealing valor, right? This guy opened my eyes to the fact that we were basically ranging in a channel that was in basically 31,000. If you zoom all the way in, right? Zoom all the way in to where the chart is right now. Roughly, yes, we did dip below that area, but we only wicked below it before in the most recent support level right there, right? Where we retested support the other day. And so it's largely been 31,000. And then way back here, again, we wicked below it, but I don't think that we had significant candles down below 31,000 before. And guys, consider the source. Am I trying to offer you like intense TA here? No, I'm not. But I'm starting to look at these charts and I'm trying to make sense of them, right? I'm trying to become a more well-rounded denizen of crypto, right? So I think this is part of it, is me understanding a bit how these markets work and not just getting gripped by fear, jumping on my channel and like telling you the sky is falling and that we're going to see like $10,000 Bitcoin tomorrow, right? I don't think anybody's saying that. And I don't think that's a good reason to be charting here. I just want to educate myself. So as I start to learn more of the indicators or any indicators as a beginner, I'll reveal what it is that I'm learning and try to share. So that channel, though, has held pretty strong until, well, just recently. As you know, we got into the $29,000 range. We wicked all the way down to 29.3. And now we're all the way back above that support line that has held us throughout the entire bull market after getting up above $30,000. Right? And further, we look at the 200 for disambiguation here, guys. See that wavy line? That's our 50-day moving average. And right here, that's our 200-day moving average. And we see that there have been a couple of little crossing points, right? Like, oh no, is it not the death cross? Yeah. Is it the death cross? It's the death cross. We're all going to die falling off a cliff. But nope, we recovered, right? We retested that upper limit there, and tried to prevent like absolute catastrophe, just like dipping straight down, like to the depths of Hades there. But you'll notice that 50-day moving average continues to sort of like flip in and out of the 200-day. Here we are back to present day. And what are we looking at? Well, yeah, we're still close to right between those two. What was the number again, guys? I asked you to remember. $32,000 Bitcoin. $32,000 Bitcoin. And as miners, I just want you to think about that, at least right now. Am I trying to tell you what to do with this? Nope, I'm just showing you a chart where that's the absolute state of things. Right now, we see $32,000 Bitcoin is the difference between our 50-day and our 200-day moving average. So, yeah. I think without giving any kind of signal or any kind of indicator, I just want to leave that at that, guys. Give me some feedback down in the comment section. That's our show for today. I'm not trying to become a technical analyst, but I am trying to make better sense of some of the charts. And I am saying, as far as there being a larger cycle, I don't think we're done yet. So I think there's very good reason to be excited. But as far as producing Bitcoin for the next little while, if it were to dip much lower than this, right, for those moving averages, if it's dipping much lower than this, then certainly for hardware profiles like the Antminer S9, I think we're kind of in trouble there. I will say that, guys. I think that some hardware mining profiles are about to get priced out. If we see a continued dip downward, it's going to be very difficult. It's not the end of the story, though, right? It ain't over until we get a blow off top, I think, probably. So. And that's just what I'm hearing from people who are technical analysts, but I don't think it's quite over yet. I think there's another leg up, and I don't think we have to be overly concerned about having to deal with like $20,000 Bitcoin immediately. Not immediately. And if we do see that or dip into the teens, I think that's in preparation for a much bigger move upward. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your Bitcoin, guys. Other channels are telling you to hodl. Other channels are telling you to peg to stable coins. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just want to present this and let you come up with your own resolution, your own ideas there. But I think we're still in a good place. I think my dollar cost average strategy in the $31,000 to $41,000 channel has been sound. And I think people who are mining in that range, I think that's been good. Money well spent, right? We're not throwing good money after bad. I think we're getting a great subsidy on a dollar cost average strategy by mining in that range. So yeah, without giving advice, guys, that's the end of the show. Thanks so much for watching to the end of the video. Thanks for being supportive, sharing this channel. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers, and I'm struggling to get past it. So if you can hit that like button, if you can share this video, if you can subscribe, it means so much. And by the numbers, 70 to 80% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed. So your subscription is going to make the difference. Definitely appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching to the end. Love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. If you want to be notified of videos like this in the future, first off, click subscribe, press the bell icon. Additionally, you can sign up for the Mind Your Biz email newsletter. That'll give you exclusive access to certain freebies, notifications for deals within the cryptocurrency mining space, as well as some of our flash sales for merchandise, which you can buy with cryptocurrency. That's right. It's the only cryptocurrency merch that you can buy with cryptocurrency. We practice what we preach. As always, thank you so much for watching. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.